Well, hello Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for turning in to today's episode of Taylor's stories of his life that hopefully give you some comic relief in your daily doings. Alright, so this story takes place a couple of years back when I was still living in Florida with my parents, and my grandpa and grandma came down to visit us. And it was summertime. In Florida, as you guys know, it's like known for its tourism, so there's lots of theme parks around and stuff. So there was this theme park that had been around for like years that my grandma had even gone to. It was called Cypress Gardens. And back then it was just a whole bunch of gardens. That's why it's called Cypress Gardens. But basically they went out and bought like 20 different carnival rides from different like fairs and stuff, and like brought them all and just like permanently put them here in this theme park. And that's basically all that Cypress Gardens was. So it wasn't very big, but it was perfect for our ages, our age group. So we arrived at the theme park, and it was quite cheap because obviously this wasn't a very big theme park. And we go around and we're having an awesome time on some of these little roller coasters and stuff. And finally we come to this big roller coaster. I don't really know if it's a roller coaster. I don't really know what the technical term was for it, because it wasn't like one of those that is like long and wooden or whatever. It was like you sit in this little car, and basically like as you go around on this track up and down and stuff and around, it spins with it too. So we get strapped in, and it's me, my grandma, Victoria, and Madison. And you get the strap put over you like this, and like it's big around you. It's like a teacup kind of thing. And we go up, and it's like chug 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 chug, and we get to the top. We're like, and basically on top, I don't know why they chose this. Maybe for the fear factor or something. But as you're like 4 stories up in the air, it takes sharp turns with no edge. It's just boom out into empty space to the ground below. And as you flip around, as you turn the 90-degree, like not 90 degrees, it's probably like 180 turn, you like feel like you're gonna fly out and you get winged around to the side, and it freaks you out because, quite frankly, if they didn't have the straps on, you'd probably go flying out to your death. So we go around the first turn, and it's like super fun. This is the first time I've been on this. When we come around on the second turn, we're like, yeah! We're getting ready for the third turn. It's like 5 turns, and suddenly it stops just randomly up in the middle of this roller coaster ride. And we're like, is this part of the ride or something? Are we about to like blast off? So we're like holding on tight and stuff. And then we start to realize as a couple seconds go by that this like isn't natural for the ride. And I look out over my edge, and I see that like other roller coasters are also stuck. Some of them are like have just like gone down a little hill, so they're just kind of like going back and forth, like finally coming to a stop. And the other guy was in the middle of going up to the top, and he just like is sitting there. So we wait there, and like 2 minutes go by, and we're like, what in the world's going on? We don't get any information at all. And we look down again, and the guy who was stuck like halfway up, his belt like releases from it, and he like gets out and starts walking down the stairs to the bottom after some guys had come and help him. And we're like, okay, well, when is our help gonna come? And like 5 minutes go by that we're just like stuck up here on the top of this ride when we start to hear bzzz. At this point, I think nothing could possibly go worse than this, except for the fact that there's now hornets swarming around our heads. Little fact here, I am deathly scared of bees. I've had just so many incidences with them, and it's not even like fun to be around them. I don't like insects except ladybugs and butterflies, maybe some grasshoppers. That's it. So as we're up here, like trying not to get stung by these bees, we're locked in place 4 stories up in the middle of this roller coaster. Finally, we hear chung 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 chung, and one of the worker guys has climbed up the ladder and has finally gotten to the top. And we're like, yeah, safety. He's like, okay, guys, we're just gonna unbuckle you here, and you're gonna have to go down this ladder that has no back whatsoever, and it's 4 stories high. It just goes straight up and down a 90-degree angle. Luckily, there were like 2 or 3 different platforms that you stand on, kind of regroup yourself, and then get on the ladder and go down again. And he's like, all right, well, You 10-year-old kid, you're gonna go down first. You 8-year-old kid, you're gonna go down next. And finally, you grandma, you're gonna go down third. And this little girl who's 6 years old, Madison, you can go down last. What we didn't know was my dad was very upset that his little children and his mother were up there at the top of this roller coaster stuck with nowhere to go. And so he had run up to the ladder with the guy, and he had come halfway up to help Madison, who was too young to really understand what was going on. So I go down, and Victoria's quick after me, and we're like hopping over all the roller coaster parts stuff. It's like the best time ever. And the whole time that this has been happening, literally from the point where we stopped, from now, my grandma had been hysterically laughing, non-stop, literally, oh, when we found the bees, hysterically laughing. Climbing down the ladders, hysterically laughing. She found the whole thing just humorous to all ends of the earth. Where I, being a brave kid, was totally not freaking out at the bees or the fact that I had to climb down a ladder. So finally, my dad got Madison down, and my grandma comes down, and we're like, oh, yay! And then we look to him, and we're like, hey, since we just went through this huge predicament, could you happen to give us, like, anything at all, even, like, a free hot dog? And we're like, oh, we're so glad that you're safe. All right, enjoy the rest of your trip. They don't give us anything at all. I was like, oh, we're so sorry. I don't understand why in the next couple months we went there at least 20 times. Anyway, so thank you guys for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever you want. It is your life. Who you want to be. I'll take that out. Enjoy, have a good week, and wherever you're watching this, and goodbye.